Well, I think it's about time I did something with this lathe instead of just having to sit here under a tarp in the yard. We had some storms blow through and tarp kind of got blown off here, so it got me to thinking I really need to just get moving on this. Not only that, but I really want a better lathe down there in the basement for some of the projects I've been working on lately. So anyways, that being said, I really don't want to get this down there until I get this painted. So I got to clean it, and the plan is I'm not going to get as elaborate with the prep work on this as I am with what I'm doing with the Hendy. The Hendy's a whole nother. The Hendy would more or less qualify more under like a restoration type of thing, and this is more just kind of like a, let's call it a quick sprucing up I want to do. So you can see it's been sitting here for a while. The grass got kind of tall around it, and it's kind of in the way too. So, and I'm sure the wife is sick of looking out the window and seeing it. So let's start by getting it uncovered. Now, one time when the wind blew the tarp off, my 11-year-old son, he decided he was going to help me out, put the tarp back on. I had been using pieces of wood from the wood pile there. He put this big old rock up here. So hopefully he didn't do any damage to the tapering attachment on the back here. All is well. Got some flash rust down this end here on the ways. Nothing I can't deal with. This is nice and oily, so it's stayed really in good shape. And the more I look at this, the more I see what fine condition the ways are in. As far as no big digs or cuts that I can see, which is nice. You can see the hand scraping marks here. This part of the ways was covered by the headstock. So you could actually compare that to this area here, and that kind of gives you an idea of how much wear there is on the ways. But as far as actual big chunks and divots and stuff like that, I mean, it's obvious to me this lathe wasn't used in a vocational school setting, that's for sure. Do have some damage right here on the compound, but I don't even think that's as bad as some of the damage on the Hendy. I think the first step is going to be to get the tapering jig off the back of the carriage, off the back of the saddle. Having done this, pretty much this entire process already on the Hendy, it's going to end up being an invaluable help as far as doing it on this, because this is put together very similar. And that being said, I've decided that what I want to do here is, since there's only, unlike on the Hendy, there appears to be only 2 screws holding this part on. I'm going to remove this first because this is a highly breakable, as I know because I broke mine on the Hendy. This is a highly breakable unit right here, so I'll take that off first and get it out of the way. Where, let me see. Now I know that this bolt right here actually comes up through the bottom, but you can't get to it with the tapering jig in place. So it's kind of a trick here to getting this out. Alright, what I've got to do is I've got to get this disconnected from here. I think if memory serves me, I took this bolt out and this bolt out, and I think that allowed me to slide this whole unit out. Alright, now I'm going to loosen these 3 jib screws so that I can get this out easily. Decided to get the shop back out and get all this swarf off of here, because there's some pretty sharp pieces. Plus I don't want it falling all over the ground. That's good enough for now. It just occurred to me I didn't need to take this bolt out. That's interesting. There are two locations that bolt can go into, which would give you, I guess, two different ranges of adjustment. I didn't remember seeing that on the Hendy one. I wonder if the Hendy one doesn't have that. Ouch! I think these are old pants because I just ripped one. Now, as I recall, this bolt drop out if this wasn't in the way, so next step is to take the bracket itself off. That just slipped. I didn't mean to knock that out. There's a nut underneath here to take this off of the end of the crossfeed screw. Why isn't that moving? This piece should be able to slide in and out of there. Oh, there's the jib for that piece. Alright, there's the bracket. Now I'll pop that out. No rain in the forecast today. No rain in the forecast today, but they were wrong yesterday. So this piece right here should be able to slide in and out. And it doesn't. It seems odd to me. It's just stuck from not being moved in such a long time, or what? Or is there a way that locks that I'm not aware of? The idea being that right now, if this carriage were moving along that tapering jig track, this would move in, and it doesn't. Oh, let me see if I can find a socket that fits that. All right. Let's see what we got. Actually, that's going to keep going. I got it forever. Let me just hold this down and screw this. All right, that's the nut. Might be a washer. I think almost positive there's a washer on there. Actually, it's a big spacer. Bet you that wasn't on the Hendy either. But the Hendy had this end piece broken off, and a homemade one had been put on here. It's missing this piece altogether. Now that I have this rod free from this piece right here should just slide right out. Imagine if somebody welded that to permanently disable the tapering attachment. Wouldn't that be dirty pool? I kind of doubt it though. No, that's just stuck in there. I can see it wiggling. See it? Ooh. All right. Just splitting the wood. Let's try the mighty hard wood. I should mark this so I can tell if it's moving at all. Wow, barely. Barely moving. Cross slide out of the way. Now it's moving. All that gave me about 1/8 of an inch. Oh, son of a... That's my bad thumb too. Why didn't I think of doing that in the first place? I just unscrewed the crossfeed shaft, so it's completely disengaged now from this. I should be able to do this. That's not supposed to be that tight. Definitely not supposed to be that tight. Maybe some swarf was stuck underneath it. Although it seemed to be tight side to side. Alright, so now, so I don't lose it, there's another collar identical to the first one I took off. Goes on the back side of that thing. Crossfeed shaft I could take all the way out right now, but yeah, I think I will do that. That'll be one less thing I have to worry about hanging out and getting bent. It's actually not coming out all the way. And now that I think of it, I think maybe this can't come out all the way because it goes through a gear, and that gear is held captive by the slot that it sits in on top of the apron because of the power crossfeed. So that's why I can't take the shaft out right now. Alright, that being said, I think it might actually be able to go out that way if I take the handle off, but I'm just going to leave it in there. I'm going to take the carriage off as an assembly with the saddle and the apron all together. So I know that my next move is over here. So I need to take this end bracket off that supports the threading shaft and the control what do you call it there, the other rod. So there's 2 screws up on the top here, right on top of the ways. Hopefully these screws have seen enough oil, incidentally or on purpose, so that they're not seized. Oh, that was almost too easy. Yeah, spoke too soon. Alright, need a different size screwdriver for this job. 1 out of 2 ain't bad. I'll take this with me downstairs to see what size screwdriver I want to use to tackle this. Okay, this one right here looks like a good fit. And again, for this job I choose a square shank screwdriver so I can take advantage of additional torque force with a wrench. Oh, come on. Well, if the waves were spotless down here to begin with, I just put a scratch in it. Why is that so hard to turn? That turns so easy to start and then stop dead. Look at that. And then all of a sudden, turns to crap. Seems weird to me. It's a blind hole, so you can forget about getting any lubricant in there to help. Turns just a little bit, but I can see it starting to cam out on me again. Even a larger screwdriver might be the trick. Well, I just tried a couple different screwdrivers. They're all fitting about the same, so I'm going to go with this bit and a socket wrench. Let's see if we can't do it this way. I'll move more. There we go. Ooh, that thumb's starting to really hurt where I whacked it. Oh, come on. Stop dead again. Goes around and then gets rough in one spot and then goes around again. I think that would indicate possibly, well, could be a damaged thread or bent screw. Okay, I'm starting to get close to that dropping down, so now I need to go get me some wire so I can, or something, so I can tie off and support my lead screw. I got a short rubber bungee on there. Ended up being just about the perfect size. It's not supported right at the end here, but it's supported far enough over so that there's not that much of the weight of the screw on itself. Now, in order for the carriage to come off, I need to run it all the way down here and take it off this end. Now, here's something that I think is different than on the Hendy. I think on the Hendy, if memory serves me, I don't remember this nut being on the end of here. So, looks to me, there's also a screw going down that attaches this to this. And I'm wondering if it goes all the way down and actually, no, that's supposed to by design be able to rotate in that, so I shouldn't have to take this screw out. This should slide right off of this as an assembly once I get this spanner nut off of here. So, time to go see what I've got. Oh, I got a tapered pin by the feel of it right here, holding another collar right over here. I don't remember going through all this to take the other one off. Alright, well, not getting anywhere staring at it. When I was doing this on the Hendy, I didn't have any spanner wrenches, I don't think. Now, I've gotten in the habit of collecting them. Here's my biggest one, way too big. This one just about fits, but not quite. But I'm wondering whether or not that was ground down or modified. If I had to, I could put a spacer in there, right there, put a spacer right in there and make this one work, I bet. But this little cheesy Craftsman one, actually. This looks like it may have even come with a power tool. Actually seems to work. Problem is, the lead screw wants to turn, but luckily it's not so tight that I can't pretty much just about hold the lead screw with my hand and turn it. Oh, it's stopped. So I am going to have to figure a way to hold that lead screw. I wonder if I engage the half nut, that would put enough drag on to stop it. There's the half nuts on. No, it's just going to move the whole carriage now. Pipe wrench holding onto this collar right here should work. Remember when I said that taking the Hendy apart gave me valuable information on how to take these apart? Opposite side on this collar is a set screw. That's what locks this on, keeps it from loosening. I remember now, there was one on the Hendy like that. Same thing. Well, the memory filled up on the camera, and the only thing you missed was I finished taking off this collar, which did come off really, pretty easily after I remembered that I need to loosen that lock nut. Now I've got to drive this pin out, should be a tapered pin, so that I can take this collar off. And it's starting to get dark because I had to leave this afternoon and do some other things, and the kids had Little League practice, so I don't even know if this is going to be worth filming, because quite frankly this camera does not do well in low light. Ow. Ooh, that edge is sharp. Caught the back of my knuckle. At least I was right about it being a tapered pin. I think I'll clean all this stuff up, put all these parts away that I've taken off tonight, and then pick this up tomorrow.